All right, guys. Welcome back to the Detroit Sports Bettors Picks and Plays show. I am Matt Kowalis from Detroit Sports Bettors, and we are now in week 15 of the NFL season. I do apologize on getting this video out a little late this week. I have had the flu all week, still do. It has been a struggle, but the show must go on, and I always want to try and give you guys a couple picks and plays. But on top of that, the COVID news that is going on currently, I don't think it's ever been worse. And going forward, I highly recommend waiting to place your bets. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like even Friday is kind of risky right now because if your quarterback comes down with COVID, running back, head coach, wide receiver, whatever it may be, it can really affect that spread. And if there's not a cash out option, then you're kind of getting stuck. So going forward, I do recommend being a little more careful with the COVID news. This is not just the NFL. This is across all sports too. So again, for myself, I'm going to be more patient, wait for the week to progress, and then I'm going to be placing my bets. But again, like I said, still do feel like I have about 4 good plays for us today. I am tampering my plays down slightly. You know, we're up so many units as is, and with all this COVID stuff coming down, messing with spreads, I don't know, it's got me a little bit worried, and we're already way in the profits. So I'm just being a little more careful going forward. But with that being said, let's get into week 15 picks and plays. Only 4 picks this week, so it is going to be a little quicker. And we are starting off with the New England Patriots going on the road to face off against the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts right now have a -2 spread in Indianapolis, and that is exactly where I'm going in this one. And I do feel like I might be on an island here because I realize the Patriots have won 7 in a row. They have one of the best defenses in all of football. They've covered the spread in 7 in a row. But guys, that is a very rare thing. And often, you know, if you've won 7 games in a row against the spread, there's a good chance I think you're going to come down to earth. And I think the Colts just might be the team to do it because the New England Patriots really aren't made for synthetic grass and on the indoor stadium like the Indianapolis Colts have. They like to play in those outdoor, cold, windy stadiums like they did in Buffalo last week. You know, Buffalo's not even made for that. The Patriots are way more made for that, for pounding the rock. You know, they kind of make short, controlled passes to keep the game in check, to keep Mac Jones from getting himself in trouble, where, you know, Mac Jones has absolutely been phenomenal. He can make those throws that he needs to in the tight windows and stuff like that too. But the Patriots just play a very safe, controlled game. And against the Indianapolis Colts, I think that could be a little bit tougher because, for one, the Indianapolis Colts, they love to play in those indoor stadiums to get Jonathan Taylor going, to get their play action game going with Michael Pittman on the outside, with Jack Doyle, Mo Alley-Cox, T.Y. Hilton. And for the Indianapolis Colts as well, they are in playoff mode now. Okay, they need to win probably at least 3 games to find their way into the playoffs. And right now they have the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Raiders, and the Jaguars. So in turn, they need to win at least one of these games, and I think this is a very good spot going against the Patriots. The Indianapolis Colts are not a team that are going to be pushed around up front like the Patriots are kind of known for doing. They do have a very good defense. They have a good linebacking core as well that is known for stopping the run. Damian Harris is still questionable as well, so the Patriots do have some running back issues going on. So if that is the case, they could be without their top running back and rely more on Mac Jones, which, you know, Mac Jones has been absolutely phenomenal. But this Indianapolis Colts team is a very tough team. They've lost to the Rams, the Bucks, and the Ravens, and that was all by 1 score. But they also led every single one of those teams. And the Indianapolis Colts, one thing that a lot of people need to realize is they are a very new team with a lot of new pieces. It takes some time to mesh. It takes some time to gel. So I actually think when they're close with the Bucks like that, they're close with the Rams like that, they're close with the Ravens like that, it actually gives them some confidence. Think 2012 with the New York Giants when they went 9-7 and ended up winning the Super Bowl. Towards the end of that season, they hung very tough with very close teams. And I remember them even saying how they generated confidence because of that. This is the same situation here. The playoffs start now for the Indianapolis Colts. And if they can win these games to get into the playoffs, they already have that momentum. They're already battle tested. tested. And that's why I actually like them if they were to get into the playoffs to maybe make a run. I like them to get into the playoffs. I think this is a team that could compete with the Kansas City Chiefs, could compete with the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Baltimore. I think they're trash. But again, all in all, this is a huge game for the Indianapolis Colts. This is a very talented team with a good defense at home. I'm going to ride with the Colts here, and I'm going to take them with -2. Moving on, we have the Tennessee Titans going on the road to face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is actually an over-under bet, and right now it is at 43.5, and I will be going under 43.5 in this one. And actually, to my surprise, this has been climbing. So you might even want to wait till Saturday or Sunday to just see where this one is at. Maybe it's at 44.5. I would feel more comfortable with that, obviously. But with that being said, okay, yes, I fully realize the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a good amount of points against the LA Chargers last week, but a lot of people don't realize how truly bad that LA Chargers defense is. They are one of the worst in all of football. They are the worst run defense 100% in all of football. But the Tennessee Titans, on the other hand, have the #2 rush defense in all of football. And if they are able to shut down Najee Harris, once again, it is all left on Big Ben Roethlisberger to get it done. And I think that's just too tough. Again, they're in Pittsburgh, outdoor stadium, cold, a little windy. Sunday's not supposed to be that bad in terms of weather, but again, still cold, windy, whatever it may be. This Tennessee Titans defense is actually one of the better defenses in all of football as well. And then in turn, Pittsburgh punts down to the Tennessee Titans. What does Tennessee have? They're still without A.J. Brown, still without Derrick Henry. Yes, they have Julio Jones, but this is just not the Julio Jones that we grew up with. He just can't do the things that he used to do, which it always sucks to see that. So I do think Pittsburgh is going to be able to contain Julio fairly easily. Then they have Deonta Foreman at the running back position, who's been playing fairly well. But once again, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. In terms of rush defense, they haven't been amazing, but if in fact Pittsburgh is able to get them in 3rd and 8 situations, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10 plus, TJ Watt is back. So if TJ Watt does get those key sacks, maybe he drives them out of field goal range, maybe he drives them out and they have to punt, a turnover, an untimely turnover, something like that, which helps to push that under. Okay. This is just one of those games where I could definitely see it being like a 10-3, 7-3 halftime score. Ryan Tannehill is not one of those quarterbacks who can shoulder the load, especially in Pittsburgh against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I think the same exact thing for Big Ben Roethlisberger. So again, I like the under 43.5 here, and I'll be riding with that one on Sunday. Moving on, we have the New York Jets going on the road to face off against the Miami Dolphins. Right now, that is a Miami Dolphins -9.5 spread, and that is exactly where I'm going in this one. For one, the New York Jets have the worst defense in all of football, okay? And these two teams are trending in completely different directions. The Dolphins are on a great winning streak, and the New York Jets are 3-10. Okay, so in turn, the Miami Dolphins right now are looking to try and potentially make a playoff push and get in. They're doing everything possible. As for the New York Jets, they're 3-10. They are thinking draft picks. What else do they have to play for? Really nothing. They just want to get their young guys some reps. And again, they're going against a Miami team who over their past 4 games is letting up 11 points per game, which is pretty good. Okay. On the New York Jets side, though, they are 3-10 on the season, and in those losses, they are averaging 6.6 points per game in those, losing by 6.6 points per game. I'm sorry. And then on the road as well, when they're losing on the road, they're averaging 9.6 points per game. So this is a 9.5 spread against the Dolphins, and I get it. 9.5 is definitely a lot of points for the Miami Dolphins, but this is the worst defense in all of football in the Jets. The Dolphins have been playing extremely stingy defense, letting up 11 points per game over their last 4. Can't sit here and say that I trust Tua all that much, but Devontae Parker is back on the outside, so they at least do have back probably their biggest weapon. As for the New York Jets, they've lost a lot of their biggest weapons, or the people who have come out, and there's just really not that much. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm going to be going with the Dolphins here. I like this -9.5. And when it comes down to this time of the season, I really like to grab onto those teams who have something to play for still, which the Miami Dolphins do, and the New York Jets definitely do not. And when they're on the road this year, their loss average is around 9.6 points per game, aligning pretty good with the Miami Dolphins. That honestly might be why they started at that point. But again, it's a little tough for me to trust Tua and stuff like that. But the Dolphins have been grooving. And I think they're going to keep it going at home against the Jets here. And they're going to look to try and make that playoff push here. So I'm going to be riding with the Dolphins at -9.5 in this one. And then our last play of the day, it is something similar. We're going on some big spreads this week, and it's the Carolina Panthers going on the road to face off against the Buffalo Bills. This is a -11 spread for the Buffalo Bills, and that's exactly where I'm going in this one. I like this one a lot because after last week, the Buffalo Bills losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in overtime, so they really they needed last week's win bad. Now they desperately need this one. And it's just a great scenario because now they're going against a struggling Carolina Panthers team who is 5-8 on the season. They don't have a ton to play for. Cam Newton in his last 11 starts is 0-11. Cam Newton is 3-15 when throwing one pick or more, which now they're going against the number 2 pass defense in all of football. The Carolina Panthers are the number 1 pass defense in all of football. But the only difference here is the Carolina Panthers are going against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are going against Cam Newton. I would give the edge to Josh Allen and the Bills there. Pretty big. So again, that's part of the reason that I like this -11 spread. The Carolina Panthers know that they have a talented team. They have DJ Moore on the outside. They have Robbie Anderson. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have a great defense. I think it's a top 10 defense still. And obviously the number 1 pass defense in all of football. So they need to get a quarterback who can run this team. It's not Sam Darnold either. He has been equally as bad. Do I think they would have won a couple more games with him? Yeah, I do, but I don't believe this man is the future of the franchise. I just don't. So therefore, I believe the Buffalo Bills are in a good situation. You guys have heard me talk about the Buffalo Bills and how they're not built for the weather. Well, lucky for them, this Sunday, it is supposed to be 38 degrees in Buffalo with about 8-mile-per-hour winds, or maybe it was like 34 degrees. Either way, it's not bad. It's not nearly as windy as it was when they were facing the Patriots. So it's a good position for the Bills to be in to try and get that offense going and to cover this -11 spread. I can't see this Carolina Panthers team scoring more than 14 points really. And I think if they score, if they get around 14, I think the Bills get at least 27. So that covers that 11 spread. And once again, Bills still playing for something. The Bills are still trying to make this playoff push. Carolina Panthers, dead and gone. They are 5-8. They need their quarterback of their future to lead this team, to lead the talent that they currently have on this roster. So again, I'm going to be with the Buffalo Bills -11 here. And then lastly, little bonus pick. I'm still going back and forth on this one, but I do love my Cincinnati Bengals at +3 at the Denver Broncos. Okay. Against the spread, I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are 4-1 on the road, and they are 5-2 when coming off a straight up loss. Okay. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are just a more talented team here. Yes, I very much understand that the Denver Broncos do have a very good secondary. They've been running the football very well, and that is part of the reason that I have stayed away till this point. I have not made it an official pick, but this is one that I'm going to monitor until kickoff, and we'll see. You guys know I love the Bengals, so we'll see if I roll with them. I do just believe this is a better team, though, and I think obviously Joe Burrow is far superior than that of Teddy Bridgewater. So again, guys, that is the picks and plays for week 15 this season. We have the Colts -2. We have the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers under 43.5. We have the Buffalo Bills -11 at home against the Carolina Panthers. We have the Miami Dolphins -9.5 at home against the New York Jets. And again, guys, you will notice the trend. The teams that I am taking are the teams that are still playing for something to get into the playoffs. Okay. So as always, guys, I am Matt Kowalis from Detroit Sports Bettors. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you checking out the video as always.